Hey guys, it's Victoria here and Curtis.
Hey Curtis, how is everybody?
We are.
Anybody there? There's nobody there.
No, not yet. You just gotta give it a minute. We're gonna wait for some people to get on. We want to start answering some questions and kind of going over what we have going on as far as regional freight and truck availability. So if you guys have any questions for us, please let us know. You can give us a call, 919-778-5777. My extension is 104. Curtis is at 108, and Sal is at 142. Sal is in our West Memphis, Arkansas office, so she won't be here today with us. But we're hoping that we can get her to go live 1 week, too. Let's see. All right. We also have one of our drivers in here, Mr. Travis Banks, and he's worked for us a few times.
Yeah, say hey, Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Hi, guys.
He's coming back to us again because he loves us so much. All right. You don't get all shy now.
I'm not doing interviews.
All right, guys. Ask
Somebody's-
us some questions.
There's people watching.
Yeah.
I got a question.
It's probably everybody from the office. All right.
How long have you had this on?
For a minute. A minute ago. A minute. All right. Well, do you just want to start talking about what we have going on? And if I might ask some questions, it'll be good. Okay.
I'm not gonna
So-
talk to nobody.
I'm going to talk to nobody. All right. As far as truck, okay, Curtis, you need to shave. You need to shave.
No, seriously. We're getting to that time of year where we are starting to have some dedicated and regional opportunities pop up. It's what everybody loves the most. Everybody loves to be home more than on the road. Most everybody, anyway. It's getting to be that busy time of year. We've got our first opportunity for pretty much three guys in the Georgetown area. I know that was kind of small. A little more of a broad scale. We've got an East Coast regional we're hiring for. Basically, you're going to be servicing steel steel mills for us up and down the East Coast. There's going to be a lot of gypsum. There's going to be a lot of lumber. And guys from the Philadelphia to the Savannah area and all the way out to the mountains. If you want a high-paying job and be home every weekend, give us a shout.
And for our current drivers, I know that a lot of you guys want the chance to be put on those. You are more than welcome to ask about it. It's not that we are not letting you guys do it. It's just that for these regional accounts and these dedicated accounts, we need drivers that don't turn down any freight at all whatsoever. They're always on time, Monday through Friday. So
That's how we keep those dedicated accounts.
Yes. So, if you are interested in it, you can let us know, let your dispatcher know, tell them to contact us because, it is a home every weekend kind of thing. The Georgetown is home pretty much nightly. So, if you're interested in that, if you have any friends that are interested in it, we do still do the referral bonuses and stuff like that. So make sure you have your friends contact us, your buddies that you used to work with or whatever. We also still have the military bonus, and now we're doing the orientation pay a little bit different. It's $1,500. You get the $200 when you leave with your first load.
Mm-hmm.
You get $800 on your first check and $500 on your second check. We do love rehires. Rehires get half of that. So,
We do.
you really don't have to go through the full orientation unless you've been gone for like a really long time. So kind of, makes a difference.
No questions.
Okay. Truck availability. We have a lot of questions about what kind of trucks we have. No, all of our trucks are not automatics. The new trucks that we are buying, those are automatics. We are not really leasing out the Coronados or the Western Stars anymore. So, if you guys want one of those, you can always buy one from us. But right now we have the International Lone Stars. We have some 2016, 2017, and 2019s. And we have the International LTs. Those are maybe 2019s as well. And then we also have some Freightliner Cascadias. And some of the older 2016, 2017 Lone Stars, those are going to be manuals as well. Those have the Cummins engine, so you don't have to worry about, the Pro Stars and stuff. I know a lot of people worry about the engines in those, but we only have the Cummins in ours. Okay, guys. Y'all got to ask us some questions because we're here to answer them. All right, guys. Well, we're going to have to get off of here soon if we're not answering many questions. Let me see. Do y'all have any dedicated for the Alabama area? As of right now, no. Of course, we are always working on getting dedicated freight pretty much all over. We do run all 48, so it is nice to be able to have dedicated areas all over. Home time, like for Wilmington, we could put you on one of our regional runs, Chris, and we can actually have you home pretty much every single weekend. You don't have to go home every weekend, but we can definitely do for sure every other, most likely every single weekend for you. If you have your own truck, yes, you can bring it. Let me see here. Hey, Levi. Texas Regional. Al, our salesman now, I think he's working on that. We are hoping to have, like I said earlier, a lot of regional type freight, especially with our offices in the places that they are. We have that West Memphis, Arkansas office. So we're hoping to get some more regional stuff, Southwest areas. Dedicated routes as of right now, we have the Georgetown, South Carolina. That's pretty much the only dedicated thing that we have open right now. We are looking for 3 more drivers to fill that spot. So if you're interested in that, Anthony, and you live in South Carolina, we can put that on there. Cranston, how much can you make per week? It really just all depends on you. It depends on, making sure that you run your logs correctly. You're not turning down any freight. You're not taking extra long breaks at night, that sort of thing. We're getting into the spring where stuff is going to start picking up. And I would say like a good healthy average is somewhere between 12 to 18 take home. We definitely have guys that make a lot more than that, but we also have guys that make less. So it's really up to you and what your availability is and what you want to do. Because we have the freight for it and we can make you a lot of money. And we obviously want to see you guys succeed, because if you're succeeding, we're succeeding. So what's the best for you? Home time area, Baltimore, Maryland. Jamel, we can have you home every weekend. keep you busy. Anything out of Southern Illinois? Yes, we do have stuff out of Southern Illinois. Especially if you have heavy haul experience, it's mostly going to be northern type of area like Chicago, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania type of area. That's home weekends too. See, Kentucky, same thing with Kentucky. I mean, northern Kentucky works out best, but if you have that heavy haul experience, we can definitely get you home weekends and stuff like that. But we can also put you open deck flatbed. Hey, Chris. Here. Your choice of what kind of truck you want to drive and that y'all have. Mr. Chris Johnson, you get to take your pick from what you want, based off of what we have available on the yard. Let's say you come to orientation and you really had your heart set on a red International, but we only have, blue. If you happen to get into that truck and you really, really still kind of want the red, they can put your name down on the list and they'll contact you whenever that's available. So that's completely up to you if you want to wait for that. We try our best not to promise trucks out before you get here. And even in orientation, they'll always take you guys out in the yard. They'll tell you, this, and this available. And then you guys can kind of decide what you want. Sometimes you might have to get into an LT when you really wanted a Lone Star or vice versa. So, we have a bunch of different options. Definitely, if especially if you're going to be leasing, we obviously want you in the truck that you want to be in. And even as a company driver, we still want you to be happy about what you're in. Western Kentucky, do you pay mileage or percentage? Been driving 23 years. Western Kentucky, same thing. I mean, we don't have anything that's dedicated out of that area. Heavy haul type of thing, we can get you on that. We also do over the road freight. So, we do pay percentage, but we also pay mileage for company drivers. So if that's something you're interested in, company drivers make 25%. Lease purchase makes 70% on the line haul. You also get 100% of the fuel surcharge. If you're looking to be paid per mile, for company drivers, starts off at 60 cents per mile. It's guaranteed $1,300 a week. You have to be available for dispatch. You can't turn down any freight course, anything like that, to be able to meet that minimum. Jason, you said you have 2 years of oiled field and step deck. You apply, we'll take a look at it and see how long you have, what kind of stuff you pulled with a step deck. We definitely like to see at least 6 months of open deck steel hauling flatbed experience within the last 2 years. So I know it might be something that we can put you in our training program for. You might only have to train for like 2 weeks versus the 4, just depending on how much you know. Let's see. Do you run a lot out of Florida? We do run a lot out of Florida. Just coming out of Florida is kind of hard. So you might get stuck down there if you're not careful. We really, one of the big things about our company is we love customer freight. So we really do not like to use brokers unless we absolutely have to. So if you get stuck out in an area, Florida or something like that, we might end up having to get you a brokered load to come out of there to put you in a better spot. So we can definitely keep you busy.
Just start over and
All right, you guys. You got any more questions for me? If I miss somebody, I'm just going to go back through it, look over it. I don't think I did, but let's see here. Last question. How long does training take place? In 10 years. Oh, wow. Our training program, as long as you have at least 1 year of driving over the road driving experience, we can get you trained. Normally it's about 4 weeks. Sometimes it could take a little bit longer, and sometimes it could take a little bit less. So if you're fast learner, we can get you on loads that, each different kind of load, coil, lumber, whatever. As long as we can get you trained on how to do those different types of loads that we do, you might only be training for 2 weeks. So it really just all depends on freight availability at that time, and making sure that, you can at least be shown how to do that. Hey, Kenneth. Yeah, Justin, we do have some new customers down in Florida. Something that's just going to keep speeding up as we go. And, we will update you guys as to what we have available, when we get it. I think we're going to try to do a live videos every Friday. I think the time is going to be probably 1 o'clock, but we'll keep you guys updated on that. Christopher, thank you. Kenneth, regional areas, like we posted on our page earlier, it's going to be South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania area, heavy haul division, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Northern Kentucky, Indiana, Northern Illinois area. Those can all get you home on weekends. And then, like we said earlier about the Georgetown, South Carolina, if you live close to there, very, very close to there, you can get home nightly. So if you guys are interested, if you have any friends that might be interested, have them apply, contact your dispatcher, whatever you guys need to do to let us know that you are interested in that. And like I said earlier, for everybody that's joining now, current drivers, we can put you on that. If you're interested in it, we can. You just have to be available for dispatch. You can't turn down any freight. You have to be on time every single day. So, if that's something you're interested in, let us know. Like I said, we could put you on it. But for the Georgetown, you absolutely need to live very, very close by. It's not something that we want to put somebody living in Georgia on, that sort of thing. Just because we want you to be available the morning of, to pick up whatever load, to deliver whatever load, and you're going to be loading daily. So, let's see, Levi. There will be the pay raises on the cent per mile for company drivers. We just started that, so I can't really say what that's going to be yet. When I do find out, I will let you guys know. As far as percentage for company, you guys get paid 25%. If you run so many miles or make so much in revenue, we'll pay you 28%. So, and that's every month, which can make a big difference on your check. As far as, a little bit more money in your pockets, go out there and get a clean inspection. We would love, love, love to pay you guys for those. And, it's some extra cash. I mean, who wouldn't like an extra $100-$150 in their pocket, Let's see. Hey, David. I know, Jeff, we do need a Southeast regional, but it's just not there quite yet. Quentin, if you live in Georgetown, South Carolina, and you have that flatbed experience, please apply. You guys can go to our website, elsfreight.com. Once you apply on there, we'll get your driving records ran. It's a pretty fast process. Bring you in for orientation. We normally do orientation every Monday, Monday through Thursday. Most of the time you guys are getting out of here on Thursday morning and the Thursday afternoon. So we can definitely get you on that and get you guys going. Let's see. Any more? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to log off of here. Like I said, we are looking to go live every Friday. So if there's something that you guys want to see, let us know. Send us a comment, a message, or something like that. Let's see. What do we need to hit 28%. You'll need to run, I think it's 10,000 miles a month. You can't have any safety violations.
10,000 total miles a month.
10,000 total miles a month.
That's the big one.
So
the rest of it kind of falls into place.
Your safety violations, things like a light out or something like that, that's not really a big deal. Seatbelt violations, speeding, that sort of thing. No. Yeah, I already went over that. Let me see. Who is your purchasing manager? Steven, if you contact us, send us an email, we can get you over to the right person. My email is V as in Victor Lewis, LEWIS at ELSfreight.com. We will get you over to the right person. Jeff, I'm so sorry that you are tired of the Northeast. Dwayne, we have both. We have automatics and manuals. A lot of our older trucks are going to be mostly manuals. We are working on selling those. The new trucks that we're buying, those are all going to be automatics for right now. But we do have some 10 speeds and some 13 speeds. So South Florida is a little hard, but we can definitely get you going out of that area.
South Florida.
Email Steven. My email is V as in Victor Lewis, LEWIS at ELSfreight.com.
How's it going?
This is Brett.
Hello.
I don't know who our purchasing manager was.
Who our purchasing manager is?
Yeah. Give him my email
Oh,
so I can put
That'll work.
That's a plot.
Cool.
Okay.
Anybody got any questions or anything that I can help with possibly?
South Florida.
What about South Florida?
We have enough freight for somebody that lives in South Florida.
So, obviously the only thing that comes out of truly South Florida is what? Sailboat fuel, right? From South Florida, anytime you get on the 95 side or even Naples on the other side, we did head to either Lake City, Florida. There's a couple customers in Lake City, obviously, and then we got customers in Jacksonville, Florida, that come out. So, there's some deadheads on that end, but typically it pays you enough to go down there, so it kind of works out. So that's kind of how that goes.
Let's see. Price of lease purchase. Our leases range anywhere from $500 to $800 a week. That price is going to include your truck payment, your insurance, your Qualcomm, and a full set of flatbed equipment. So it's all in there. You don't have to pay separate for any of that stuff. And the good thing is there's no credit check, no down payment. It's a walk away lease. And we have two different options. One of them has a balloon payment, one of them does not. So it's completely up to you guys. Whatever you want to do.
Mr. Stahl, no more autos. Really? Well, here's the thing. The automatics are actually much more fuel efficient than you'll ever be. The best driver in the world cannot get the fuel efficiency out of the truck like an automatic can. And the good thing about these new ones are they're not the old school ones. They're actually basically like a 13 speed. So, they got the split gears in there, so it makes it a lot easier, whenever you're going down the road. So the idea is to save fuel, right? So you got to remember this too. The difference in 5.5 miles per gallon and 6.5 miles per gallon at the end of the year, fuel's $3 a gallon is about $11,000. So that's a huge thing. You might be independently wealthy and $11,000 doesn't matter to you, but it does matter to me, right? So if I had the opportunity to spec a truck where you could save money, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now you also said when you say no tarp, what? Sure. And make sure loads are no tarp. Oh, I hear you. Well, that's the idea, right? So I tell you what we are going to do. So currently right now, we're hauling somewhere in the neighborhood of about 14 or 15% of our freight is OD. Which means it's going to be 55 foot in length and up to 65, right? So the more freight that we can haul this OD, typically that freight doesn't tarp unless it comes out of a pipe mill. So we really want to take those numbers up to like 33% is kind of like our where we want to be. Now, obviously, the more OD loads we can haul, the more freight revenue you're going to make, right? So OD loads going to pay anywhere from 25 to 35% more, depending on what customer it is. So that's definitely what we want to go out to. On the contrary side too, we're starting to do a lot more drywall than we ever have, which is a good thing for us because it's going to be no tarp freight, or excuse me, it is going to be tarp freight, but it's going to be drop and hook, right? So we're not sitting there waiting at shippers. So what we're trying to do too is we're trying to get more freight this drop and hook. If we could get up to about 45-50% drop and hook at the shippers, we're going to get in and out the door as quick as we possibly can. So that's kind of what's going
on. James, experience needed. You'll need at least 6 months of over-the-road steel hauling flatbed experience. We like to see, about a year of driving too. I mean, that really helps out, and a clean driving record.
Hey, Joey, don't mention on that Dixon load, man. I got your back, brother.
Are we ever going to get dedicated freight further
Experience
for the Florida guys?
Dedicated freight further for Florida guys. I don't know necessarily what you mean. As far as dedicated freight in Florida, here's always been the issue with that, right? There's a couple of carriers down there, and you know who they are. They're in Florida. They run. One of them just started getting newer equipment, but I mean, typically forever they've had junk equipment, and they'll haul it for pennies on the dollar. And I mean, at the grand scheme of things, we're not going to throw good money after bad. I mean, my personal opinion is I think there's a lot more other things that we can do. Everybody loves the dedicated thing, but I can tell you most of the time the dedicated deals pay us less money than what we can earn on the open market. So, I mean, are you better to do? Yeah, you go to the same place every time, but at the end of the day, the idea is to make money, right? I don't think it's worth taking, $300 or $400 hit a week in your paycheck to run dedicated. I mean, that's just my opinion.
And they always end too. I mean,
yeah, they always end too, right? I mean, so here's the thing, and here's the thing you got to remember. So, most customers will want you to do a dedicated deal in the summertime. Why is that? That's peak season for everybody in our business, right? So, do you want to take trucks out of that market where they can have the best earning potential? Probably not, right? I mean, it's better us for to do it. Now, if they want to do it in the wintertime, obviously that's a no-brainer. That's kind of how we do that. It just kind of lets you know, too. I mean, between the bottom part of our freight season, which is, December, January, right? And the peak time, which is going to be, let's say, June, July, right? There's a 40-cent swing. So, it's kind of, we're getting into the into the freight season, right? Where we want to make money. So, I mean, at the end of the day, our miles were pretty good last week. I mean, I think we averaged 2,350 total miles average per truck, and that was including guys that didn't run too, right? So the reality of it was probably a little higher than that. So I mean, the miles are there. I can tell you our freight rates, for all lanes traveled. I mean, we're up about 12 cents since January 1. So that's good, right? So we're starting to trend that way. So that's definitely a positive.
Mm-hmm. Stacy, most of our trucks are going to be governed at 70.
So I'll tell you about that. So they're 65 on the pedal, 70 on the cruise. Here's the reason why. We do it to save fuel, because the idea is that the more times you can be in cruise control, the more times you can be in top gear, the more money you're going to save. So that's kind of the reason why we do it that way. Really, you don't need to be running faster than that. The ideal speed for most trucks nowadays is actually about 64, and that's going to give you your best fuel economy. And, look, I get it, going down the road faster makes you feel better, right? But the slower we can do it to a reasonable speed, the better off we're going to be. Tell you something that is pretty cool about about our newer trucks is they have passing speed. So what it is that you can step on the pedal, right, and flutter it. And I think it only gives you maybe 20 minutes a day, but it'll give you another 5 miles an hour so we can get around somebody. Because the idea is that, you hate when you have to go past a Swift truck and it takes you 700 miles to pass it, right? I mean, that sucks. So what we want to do is we want to give you the speed to get around it, but obviously we have to limit it because some of you guys would go 75 everywhere you went. So that's why we do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Dwayne, if you run heavy haul, I mean, we could get you home quite often. Shouldn't really be a problem.
Guaranteed weekly.
Oh, I live in Michigan. Oh, sweet, man. That'd be great. I tell you what, there's tons and tons of freight in the Midwest. I mean, you can write your own ticket up there. I mean, you can make as much money as you want to make. You can pull flats. You can pull, our quad axle equipment. Quad axle equipment is pretty cool because you don't have the tarp anymore. I personally like that. It depends on what you want to do, right? If you want to get in really good shape, you go throw tarps every day. You get in great shape, right? Just depends on what you want to do. A lot more variety on the regular flatbed side than on the heavy haul side. But it depends on what you want to do. We got a terminal in Toledo, Ohio. Man, if you got good experience and good driving record, and you're a solid guy, I mean, we'd love to have you.
Stacy, what kind of trucks do we run? We have the International Lone Stars, International LTs, the Freightliner Cascadias, and we're kind of.
And so and we also, I'll tell you something else too. We've got a few glider kits we're getting ready to have. They're gonna be probably 2018s. What we're doing is we're changing around some of our fleets as we're getting new trucks in. And the glider kits is more of a truck that a lot of guys like to lease. So as opposed to putting company drivers in it, we're gonna lease those trucks and get them out the door. But kind of the thing too. So our Lone Stars are anywhere from 2016s to 2020s. LTs are all going to be 19s and 20s. The LT is the LT and Lone Star is basically the same truck. The difference is the hood, right? If you're a guy that likes the chicken lights, Lone Star's way to go. If you're a guy that wants to take home a little bit more money, LT's way to go. So it just depends on however you want to do it.
Jeff, let's see. Why is it not up to lease purchase where they want to run? Big reason is we haul a lot of customer freight. We have to pick up and deliver that freight if we want to keep the customers. I mean, we pay better.
So, Mr. Stahl, you got a very pointed question there. I don't really comprehend. I mean, I get what you're trying to say, but we need to talk about that because, I get you have personal tarps, and that's great. I hear you. A lot of our guys that's been around for a while do. But we need to use our tarps because, obviously dropping hook, that's an issue. If we got to repower something, that's an issue. But, if you've got some suggestions on how to make something better, dude, I'm always all ears. Mr. Tyndall, so your question is, why is it not up to LPs where they want to run? So I get that question all the time, right? Here's always been my thought about it is, you do what you do best. We do what we do best, right? So I'll never come in there and tell you, hey, by the way, this is how you drive a truck, right? I don't do that. And because that's what you do. You're a professional driver, correct? So on the flip side of that, we've got guys in here that has years of experience and know where all the freight's at, know where the hot freight's at, know what's going on. So that's why they pick the loads, right? I mean, just because one thing looks really good on the exterior, it doesn't do that. And we have to service our customers because that's where we make our money. I mean, if to run a system to where you get to pick your own freight and do all that kind of stuff, look, there's plenty of companies that do that, right? The reality of it is those trucks run 35 and 40 cents lower than what we've got. Because as well as I do, if you take loads from brokers, you're not going to make any money. I mean, they got to make money, then it goes on to you, and then the company takes some, and that's just crazy, right? So at the end of the day, we take care of our customers because they take care of us, right? So, and that's kind of the reason why that we run, all of our customer freight, and we've got people that do it. It just makes sense, right? I mean, that's kind of the reason why we do it that way. And here's another thing too. At the end of the day, too, if you're not making money, neither am I. So it's advantageous for both of us to do the same thing. Here's another thing: our dispatchers and load planners also get paid the same way you get paid, same way we all get paid here. If it's everybody's on percentage, right? Because I mean, and that's how it works. So I mean, it's a pretty good system. I mean, is everything gonna be perfect? No. But like I said earlier in the conversation, there's a 40-cent swing between December and June, right? So we're all the time trying to get as many customers as we can, to have as many options for you guys as we can. Are our options going to be better as far as where you want to go and do different things 3 months from now? Of course they are. Are our options better today than they were last year this time? Of course they are, right? Because, I mean, we spend a lot of time going to our customers, trying to do the best job we can to say, hey, open up more opportunities. And then we also go out there and say, hey, listen, there's a company over here that's got freight too, right? So let's go start doing business with those guys. Because if we can truly give guys more options, then I think we're going to be better, right? I mean, as opposed to saying, hey, I only got one load, let's just say Atlanta to Chicago. Well, if I've got 3 or 4 customers in Atlanta, I probably have loads to Houston, possibly, maybe Chicago as well, obviously, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, whatever. And that's kind of where we want to go with that. That's kind of what we do. But it's that's just where we're at. What else we got going on here?
Hey, Devin, the reason why you see so many empty trucks, like we said, we are trying to kind of do some preventative maintenance, I would say.
So here's what's going on with that. So so I'll answer that because obviously Victoria doesn't know. So we're flipping over our fleet just like many other trucking companies do. So the reality of it is we own somewhere around 150 glider kits that were 13s, 14s, and 15s, and some 16s. Well, the maintenance costs on those trucks are they're out of warranty, so the maintenance cost went like this, right? And so we can get a new truck that costs us the exact same amount of money per month in payment and turn around and have it under warranty. So why not do that? So that's exactly what we're doing. So as we're taking them off and getting them sold, we're replacing them with the trucks we got. So right now, if you look on our yard, we probably have I don't know, probably 65 or 70 trucks sitting on here. Now the reality of it is that so some of those are sold, some of those are going through the shop, some of those we haven't even paid for yet. So I mean that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, if you go around to any other trucking company in the country, you're going to do everybody's doing the same thing, and you just do it every year, right? So that's kind of the way that it's at. And plus, too, we're also baking in some future growth this year because I feel like that we've got great freight, we've got great equipment, we're a great place to work. So I mean, we're able to bring in drivers, so that's a positive. So obviously, you got to have the trucks here to be able to bring drivers in to put in them. So that's kind of where we're at on that. You're working with Buchanan and not making the money they said. Well, no kidding, right? I mean, most of these companies, I'll just tell you, so we're completely different than anybody else. We're going to be straight up and honest with you. I mean, I see some of the ads that are out there. I mean, there's companies saying, oh, yeah, you can gross $350,000 a year. You would have to run the truck 2,500 miles a week, every single week, at $2.85 a mile for every mile you turn. You're not going to do it. But they say, oh, you got the opportunity to do it. Yeah. What are you hauling? Nuclear waste or nuclear bombs or gold or something? I mean, that's just the reality of it. You're not going to do it. And every trucking company has ups and downs right through the season, especially the flatbed market. It's very cyclical. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with you too as a driver, right? I mean, if you don't turn the miles, you're not going to make any money. Like we had a driver that said that, hey, he was turning 2,800 miles a week. He's only making $200. Look, first off, you're not going to turn 2,800 miles every single week pulling a flatbed. Yeah, you might get out there 1 week. I get it. Maybe go back 2 or 3 more weeks. Yeah, you might get on, but you're not going to do it consistently every week. You just physically can't. And $200, yeah, go back and look at his paycheck. Here's his problem. He had $400 in child support. He had another $300 in insurance. He took $200 out on the road. Maybe that's what he thought his paycheck was. And his average paycheck after all of that was still $1,000. And oh, by the way, he averaged 1,950 miles a week. So the reality of it is, you got to go out there and work, right? I mean, what it tells you, the more miles that you run, the better off you're going to be. I don't know what Buchanan's freight's like. I don't know anything about them. I can tell you what we do, right? I mean, you're going to run the truck somewhere around $2.40 a mile for every mile you turn right now. You're going to run about 2,300 miles a week. Do the math. It works out. So, you can come over here and do well. So, look, hey, put in an application. Man, you're a flatbedder. We'd love to have you. Average take-home pay for LP average weekly gross. That's an arbitrary number, right? I mean, because it matters so much where you live, how you run, what goes on. I mean, being an LP guy versus a company, so here's the reality, right? Do you have the opportunity to make a little bit more money as an LP guy than a company? Yeah, right. But the thing is that you're still paying for a truck. So whether you're running as a company driver for us or you're running as a company driver for yourself, being an LP guy, you still have those expenses, right? Where you really make the big time money is when the truck's paid off, right? So when the truck's paid off, I don't have $600 a week coming out of my paycheck. That's like getting another side job, right? Now as an LP guy too, if you're willing to go the extra mile, yeah, you're gonna make a little bit more money than the company driver. That's kind of where being an LP guy kind of benefits you. And obviously at the end of the day too, as an LP guy, if you're a company driver right now and you're gonna be a company driver 5 years from now, why not be an LP guy, right? Because at least in 5 years, now you own your own truck. I mean, it's kind of the way to look at it. Joey, what you got here? I picked up a set from Kinley on my way to Texas. The glue separated gigantic. So I don't know. So we don't repair our tarps. So we use Dawson tarps in Alabama to repair them. So if it sounds like to me they didn't do a good job, I'll get with Corey and get that fixed, because I mean, Lord knows we pay them a lot of money to have our stuff right, and nothing's going to piss me off more if our stuff doesn't work. Because number one, if our tarps don't work, obviously claims, right? Another thing is, I mean, what are we paying for? I mean, I just don't want to throw good money after bad. So we'll definitely fix that. Didn't know that was an issue.
Stacy,
has anyone ever paid for their truck? Yeah, man, we got people that pay for them every month. We got
a bunch that are about to.
Yeah, we've got a whole slug of guys that are getting ready to pay for them. We got the Desmond Johnson just paid for his truck. Actually paid it off early, so that's a positive. Just did that. When did Desmond pay off his truck? Like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah,
close to it. Yeah. So yeah, people pay them off all the time, right?
We have some guys that are working on their second.
Yeah, we got some guys. Yeah, we've got some guys that have had 2 trucks here with us. The big thing is, and I tell anybody this, is look, buying or leasing a truck is the toughest thing you'll ever do in trucking. Look, there's going to be many pitfalls. There's going to be many days where you think you made the worst decision of your life, but there's going to be a whole lot of great days too. And believe me, when you get that title in your hand, it's all going to be worth it. You have to stay the course, because I mean, look, starting your own business is extremely, extremely hard, right? I mean, you have to be willing to put the hours in, go above and beyond, right? And then you get it paid off in the end. Where a lot of guys get very discouraged is they think that, all right, well, now I own my own business. Now I'm, instantaneously, I'm gonna make more money. It doesn't work that way. You gotta work your tail off. And yeah, I mean, look, I own and run my own business too, right? I mean, there's many days we don't make money here. There's many days I can literally go home and say, hey, man, I wish somebody would take this thing tomorrow. I'm done, right? But I always get back up every morning to come back to work. And it's been, and it's one of those rewarding things. And, if you want to get somewhere, well, let me back up. Find anyone that's successful in life, and I promise you, they had to work their tail off, unless you just win the lottery, right? So, I think we want you to succeed. We work our tail off for you to succeed. We pump a lot of money into sales, customer service. I mean, heck, look at our trucks. They're extremely nice. I mean, that's nice stuff. So, we put everything in the correct way for everybody to be successful. But at the end of the day, is everybody going to be successful? No. I mean, does everybody own their own business out there in the world? No, they don't. You just got to be, you got to be willing to work hard.
Eric,
I've worked here before. Could I rehire? Yeah, as long as as long as your stuff's good to go, don't have a problem with that. We've got. Tell you what's funny. Most, I think it's something like it's like 35% of the people who leave here end up coming back. So I mean, that's cool. Everybody thinks the grass is greener to the over there, right? So we're willing to do that. Come on back. We'd love to have you. Just talk to these fine people in recruiting. You're paying percent or mileage. We do both. The reality of it is so let's say miles, right? So miles, you're gonna make the same thing, December as you do in June, right? But I just told you that there's a 40-cent swing between the winter months and the summer months. I think it's better to be on percentage personally. I think that you make more money. We get a lot of guys who just don't understand the concept of percentage and saying, well, I'm not getting paid for deadhead miles. Well, you technically get paid by the load, so it's kind of like being a mechanic. You get paid by the job, right? And some guys are like, well, I don't really get that. I want to be mileage. Cool, be mileage. I don't care. You know, we pay 60 cents a mile. I mean, you know, I looked at it the other day, and you know, we pay better than just about everybody else out there. I mean, you would literally have to be at these companies for like 4 or 5, 6 years to get that kind of money. And, you know, here's another thing too. Tell me how marketing's kind of crap, how they do it. So they'll say our drivers average this. What they're actually counting is, you know, so I can say all the time, oh, well, our drivers average 58 to 61 cents a mile. What they're actually talking about is we're gonna throw in your recruitment bonus into that figure. We're gonna throw tarping into that figure. The attention, maybe you recruited a guy in that figure. It's everything out the door. That's what you get. Look, we pay 60 cents. That's where we start, right? That's just literally mileage. I'm not counting detention pay, tarp pay, sideways pay, whatever kind of pay you could think of. I'm not counting all that. If I did, yeah, I'm sure that number would be much higher. But I just don't think there's any reason to come up here and just make some kind of thing sound like it's not, right? It's like putting lipstick on a pig. And if you believe all that stuff, then you're a pig, right? Because that's just dumb. You just don't need to do that.
You see, you can apply. You can go to our website, elsfreight.com. You can give us a call. We can send you a link.
Passengers in the truck. That's a catchy. That's a really touchy thing, right? Do we allow passengers? Yes, we do. Here's what I will tell you. A lot of shippers nowadays, because of liability issues, won't allow a passenger or non-CDL holder to be in the truck. You know, and then so that happens, and if that's the case, I mean, you got a passenger in there. I mean, you're gonna have to drop off somewhere. I mean, you're just going to, and you know, so you got to kind of weigh that too. You know, I don't know who you're thinking about. You know, look, when I was a kid, look, I rode around trucks everywhere I went, right? You know, it's not the 90s anymore. I mean, or the 80s. So, you know, it's just part of it. You know, it kind of sucks because, you know, having a family member or your buddy out there with you on the road makes it a whole lot better. Look, there's been many a days, you know, I've been out there myself, and, you know, I wish I had somebody to talk to, right? That, you know, I get it. So we do everything we can to accommodate those things. You know, so whenever you sign on here, we can talk to you more about it.
Hey, Teresa.
See, there you go. Appreciate it, Don. I know I'm right. They lie all the time. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I hear. Tell you what's the funny thing. Tell you what I do. It's hilarious. So we call trucking companies all the time, right? Just because we want to hear how we stack up. I mean, and obviously, I mean, that's just what you do. We talk to these people, and like, I'll ask them questions, and they'll tell me literally whatever I want to hear. I mean, I'm waiting for the day that I'm gonna ask one of these guys, "Hey, do you have freight to Cuba?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure do, man. We have all you want." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, man. I guess your truck's got wraps on too." "Yeah, we sure got wraps on our trucks." This is how crazy and ludicrous these people are. I mean, literally, these recruiters have never been a truck a day in their life. They didn't understand nothing about trucking. And I mean, look, and they get people every day. It's kind of crazy. Like our people. So I just tell you a little bit about our recruiters. We make our recruiters actually, now we don't send them out there on the road because they can't. Obviously, Vicky Sue, I'm sure every driver in America would love to have her in the truck. So we ain't gonna do that. However, what we will do is we will go out there. They understand trucks. They understand what goes on. They understand the shippers. I tell them, I take them with me. They understand all this kind of stuff. Because we want them. They're not as much on the sales side, tell you what you want to hear side. They're more on say, hey, this is how we roll. Because I think that when we recruit you, you should know that we're a straight up company. Here's how it rolls. You might not always agree with what I have to say, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like that. I'm like, look, I'm like a good uncle to most of these guys, right? Hey, sometimes it's going to be tough, but it's going to be what you need to hear, right? So that's kind of how we roll. And that's different. Most trucking companies lie to drivers. They just flat out do, or they will skirt around the truth and not tell them the truth. And I mean, that's ridiculous. Now, does that happen here sometimes? Of course it does. And when I find out about it, I handle it. Trust me, because we're not going to do that. And I expect the same thing for our drivers too, right? You know, it's always funny. It's kind of like, Super Bowl Sunday. You know how many funerals that we get across the Qualcomm? I mean, I think everybody's auntie in the world died. Oh, got a funeral to go to. Hey, look, just be straight up. Say, hey, man, Super Bowl party, trying to go. Dude, get it, man. Cool. hey, we'll set up deliver Tuesday, man. Just be straight up, right? That's all you got to do. Percentage pay is more motivation. I get that. I like that. You know, you kind of bet on yourself, right? Completely understand that. I live in South Florida. Will y'all hire me? I like South Florida. I don't have a problem hiring people from South Florida. Just depends on what kind of home time you want. I mean, you know, that's just the biggest thing is what kind of home time that you want, what kind of salary expectations that you have, where do you really want to run? Obviously, you got to run north, right? Because you got to come out of Florida. But yeah, don't have a problem looking at that. Call one of our recruiters. We'll talk to you about it and see if we're a fit for each other. What do you have out of Joplin, Missouri area? You know, I don't know if we necessarily want to mention customers on here or not, but I mean, you know, if you've been in flatbed, you know who the customers are in Joplin, Missouri, who are in that area. I mean, we look, the reality of it is, you take any of the major flatbed carriers, we all haul for the same people. I mean, they might have one customer that they might haul more for or something like that, but we basically all have about the same freight. At the end of the day, it's going to be who can manage our trucks better to make them more money. You know, I think we're pretty good at that. So yeah, we've got freight on that side of the world, no problem. What is the percentage? So we're on the company driver side, we're 25 to 28% is kind of where we are on that. LP side it's 70. We do have some LP guys that's been here a long time. They make more money than that, and rightfully they should, because I mean, you've been here a while, you should get paid more money. I mean, I think everybody does that. Victoria started out making $1 an hour, now she makes $3 an hour, so we gave her a raise, right? So that's kind of the way we look at it. I'll tell you this too: if you pay for a truck here, you've been here with us a while, you'll never leave, because I won't let you leave. First off, I'll come tackle you out there on the yard, and you will never leave. But the way it really is that the more you've been somewhere, and especially here, the more we rely on you, the more that we try to do things for you. Like, when we get somebody mentioned dedicated things earlier. Yeah, if you've been here a while, yeah, if a dedicated thing pops up, you're gonna get a call. I'm not gonna call some dude off the street. We don't do that. I'm not gonna get somebody in orientation, like, unless it's something completely crazy special, like I got a dedicated account out of Bangor, Maine. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna call all of our drivers that's been with us forever in South Carolina. They don't want that, right? I'm probably gonna have to hire somebody. So that's kind of the way we do that. So if you get in the door, and you stay here a while, it's gonna work out for you. I promise you. And plus, too, at the end of the day, the longer you've been at a company, more people know you. And when they see your name pop across there, they're like, hey, I know him, man. Yeah, dude, I want to help this guy. He's been here a while, right? And then it starts to become family, and that's what we want. Yeah, well, yes, some loads we take percentage. You can figure cents per mile is going to be low. Well, no kidding, right? I mean, it's a balancing act. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, taking a load to, I'm just going to use Bangor, Maine for it. I just used it again. If you go out of Birmingham, Alabama to Bangor, Maine, yeah, the cent per mile, we would make more money paying you cents per mile, right? Because if you do percentage, it's going to pay you really well. Coming out of Bangor, Maine, it's not going to pay you anything because you got it all coming in. So yes, cents per mile is going to be fine. But if it's a law of averages. It all averages out at the end. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. You can't choose percentage or cents per mile per load. That'd be great. I hear you. That'd be pretty cool on your side. But obviously, we couldn't do that. But I get your point. Any looks at getting step decks? No. Look, man, I'll go ahead and tell you, step decks. So I've looked at that business before. It really doesn't pay all that good. I mean, you just look really cool with a shiny green tractor going down the highway. I hear you. Guess what? A rock hits it. Now you just bought a $4,000 glass windshield. We ain't gonna do that. We're a 53-foot open deck carrier. Is our main drag business. Look, 65-foot structural products is what we want to haul. That's kind of our niche. That's what we're good at. That's what we're going to do, right? Where people start screwing up is when they get into businesses that they don't really understand. So yeah, we're just going to stick with what we got.
See Marvin, 11 months to go. Yeah. y'all want to talk to somebody about paying off a truck, he would definitely be the one to go to because he.
My man
You're
Marvin.
wrong.
Yeah, and that's good, right? And I mean, and Marvin will tell you this too. And I don't want to be speaking out of turn, but look, I can tell you, Marvin's been with us forever. There's been days he's probably wanted to shoot us, and there's definitely been days I wanted to shoot him too, right? So I mean, look, it's a give and take. It's not all roses and rainbows. Any recruiter that tells you at any company, oh, it's going to be great every day is lying to you, right? I mean, it's hard work. Marvin will tell you that, man. I'm proud of you, man. Good work does pay off. So, yeah, David Marshall, man, I hear you, dude. It's tough out there. I mean, and that's the thing too. I can tell you, we're not perfect either. I mean, we do things sometimes that's stupid and I don't even like, right? And then, I try to fix them. And that's the only thing I can do, from a company perspective is try to be upfront as possible. We screw up, we're going to tell you, we're going to try to fix it, man. But I hear you. I'm glad that you appreciate the honesty coming from my part. Yeah, so up to Rahimi, I know a lot of drivers left. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can tell you exactly why most drivers leave, right? It's they don't make any money. Why do they not make any money? They don't drive. I mean, it's just the way it works. I mean, it's you can't get paid for sitting at home. I mean, one of the biggest problems a lot of these guys don't get is they don't work. Like, let's say we take days off and we don't work, so they don't get paid. They're like, well, why didn't I get paid? Well, because you didn't work. And they don't understand that when you're in a small business, you got to work every day. This is the way it works, right? And I mean, and that's fine. I mean, if you're only going to run 7,500 miles for the week or for the month, rather, dude, you're not going to make any money. Point blank. Now, you're going to be a company driver and make money of that, right? Because people need drivers. But I mean, you're not gonna make as a lease purchase driver. And so that's why guys leave. And that's fine. I mean, in all reality, I want them to leave. Because let me get somebody else in there that wants to run. This is ridiculous. I mean, look, it's you got a $200,000 piece of equipment, right? Truck and trailer. I mean, use it, work, and that's just the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Orientation's normally Monday through Thursday. If you're going to be doing heavy haul, you probably get out of there on Wednesday. As long as your drug test is back, you should be good to go.
Do we haul poly iso insulation? Yes, we do that. Victoria, do you know what that is?
No. I'm going to assume it's some type of building material.
Yeah.
So
got a customer in we got customers all over that haul that stuff.
West Memphis. We actually have an office in West Memphis. So
appreciate it, Marvin. Thanks a lot, buddy. I do too. And the big thing is, it's like I was talking about it earlier. Marvin can probably speak to it. Once you're here, for a while, man, you're not going to want to leave because, I mean, we're a great company. Marvin will tell you that. Marvin works. That's why he makes money, right? He's a hard worker. If you don't work hard, you don't make any money. I mean, and to be honest with you, I tell you, our old school drivers, they don't want drivers here that don't work either. Because in all actuality, they're taking food off their plate. Because if we don't pick up on time, we don't deliver on time, our customers aren't going to use us. I mean, how are we going to go to a customer and say, hey, by the way, we're a really great carrier, even though we don't deliver on time and all this other stuff, but we want to raise? That's crazy. I mean, they're not going to do that, right? So, yeah, I mean, do guys leave here? Of course they do. I mean, our turnover, I mean, look, I wish our turnover was 0, but it's just not. I mean, the national average right now is probably, north of 110%. It's crazy, right? And here's another thing, too, speaking to drivers, what's the biggest thing that screws up drivers as far as on a lease purchase is they'll go out there and make killer money in the summer, right? Just told you there's a 40-cent difference between the winter and the summer, right? They'll kill it. Then they'll go out there and buy, baby a new pair of shoes, go buy mama a new car, go out there and buy 4 big screen TVs, right? And get their bills stupid high. The winter comes around, right? Now you ain't making that killer money all the time, but the bills are still there. So whose fault is that? Where they're like, hey, well, I'm making $1,300 a week. I can't make it off that. I'm like, bro, well, last summer you made, dude, you were killing it, man. You were making, you were making $2,000. Oh, well, I already spent that. Whose fault is that? Yours. I tell guys all the time, I said, listen, and it's not only a truck driver. This is the thing across the country. Look, you should, as an LP driver, you want to be successful. I'll tell you how to be successful. $1,000 a week is what you pay yourself. Everything outside of that, put it in the bank. Trust me, you will need it. There's always going to be a rainy day. You know, when you're on top of that hill, the valleys are always on the way, man. You know, so that's how you be successful. So when you come to ELS, that's one of the things that I'm going to teach you how to do. I'm going to teach you how to be not only a successful driver, but a successful business person. That's what you want to do, right? You want to own your own truck. You want to start your own business. I mean, look, there's been tons of guys that have 300-400 trucks today that started same shoes you're in, right? They started, they got one truck, got it paid for, right? Bought another one, kept on going. And that's what you want to do. You know, or if you just want to be a one truck, one owner operator for the rest of your life, great. Hey, you know what? You can have a great living. I mean, I've seen it happen. We've got guys here that are owner operators that paid for their trucks 20 years ago, right? That, you know, every couple of years they got a little bit of money, they go pay cash for a truck. That's great, man. That's what you want. So when you come here, not only are we going to give you a good paycheck, we're going to give you great equipment. We're also going to teach you how to be great business people, right? I'll tell you something that's funny that I think is this crazy, right? So we get drivers all the time that come into orientation. They say, "Oh, hey, you know, I've done lease purchase before." I was like, "Cool. How long you done it?" "Oh, you know, I've been a lease purchase driver for 6 years." I said, "Cool. How many trucks you paid for?" They say 0 every single time. I said, "Cool. Well, you're not very successful at it, then, are you?" They look at me like I'm crazy, but it's the truth. So here, I'm going to make you successful at it. And oh, by the way, you know what's different than most trucking companies? When you finish paying for your truck here, you actually have a truck that's worth something. What do most companies do? They lease purchase you an old truck that came out of their fleet. Guess what? By the time you get done paying for it, it's got 850,000 miles on it, the motor's shot, and they'll sell it for you and give you $3,000. Wow, awesome. You work really, really hard for nothing. It's ridiculous. You pay for a truck here, guess what happens? You get a truck that's worth 60 grand at the end of the deal that actually works. So, hey, you know what? It might still be under warranty. That'd be pretty cool, right? Now I actually have something that I've obtained, right? So look, hey, get a truck $60,000. You always wanted that W900 or 389 Peterbilt? Awesome. I got a great truck. I could trade in on the truck of my dreams. Dude, that's what we sell here, man. You know, we're not just some fly-by-night, give you a cheap truck and wish you on down the road, right? I mean, that's not. I actually want you to be a smart business person. I want you to be able to, you know, move to the nice neighborhood across town to put your kids in a great neighborhood, right? That's what I want to do, right? I want your wife to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, my husband's out there, you know, busting his tail, but hey, he's bringing home the bacon. Yeah, he's not home all the time, but guess what? My kids got good shoes, good clothes. You know, I'm happy. That's what it's all about. You know, I mean, look, and here's the thing too, you know, at the end of the day, you know, what I tell guys to be really, really successful at this business is get your priorities in line, right? So I said, hey, your job should be number one. And then people say, well, that's crazy. Family is number one. I say, no, it's really not. At the end of the day, job should be number one. Here's the reason why. If you're not taking care of your job, you're not taking care of your family. So anyways, that's the kind of things that we do here. You know, anybody that wants to come on board and be a part of what we've got going on here, I challenge you to you know, give these recruiters a call. They'll get you in here. We have a very great orientation. I feel like I talk a lot of orientation. As you can see, I'm pretty long-winded, and I'm extremely passionate about this. So when you come here, I'll generally talk to guys for about 6 hours a week during orientation because I really want to get guys on the same page, and I think that means a lot coming from you know, from my position. You know, because we're true partners. I mean, I know a lot of trucking companies out there say, "Oh, our partner drivers," or what. They don't care. Your number 745,000, whatever your number is, right? We don't do that here. Names here, man. That's how we roll. And you know, we got drivers that come here all the time that's been here a while. First thing they do when they get to Kinley, North Carolina, is they come in my office, and I mean, it's just like talking to somebody you grew up with. Because I mean, we're all in business together. That's kind of how we roll. I'll get back to some more questions on here.
Engines and the Lone Stars. Those are being the Cummins, the ISX 15s, and those. Let's see.
Yeah, Joey, you're right. They leave because they can't have it their way. That's right. Everybody wants their cake and eat it too. It doesn't work. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's got a boss, man. That's the way it works.
She doesn't have a computer with a screen. It's in a
I agree with that a whole lot. Can't manage your money at home, you'll never be an owner op. You're exactly right. I mean, you're never going to be as successful in life either, right? I mean, it sucks going around not having any money in your pocket. I get it. I've been there before in my life, and it's terrible, right? So what do I do now? I save money because, you know, the reality of it is you should be able to have at least 2 months of emergency money that will pay your bills if something happens. You got to have that kind of stuff, right? I mean, stuff happens all the time. I mean, you know, comes up, oh, my air conditioner broke at home. You know, my water heater broke. You know, Jenny's got to have a surgery on something. I got to, you know. So, I mean, look, you got to do that kind of stuff. So I agree with you right there. So you got an app in. Good job. Appreciate that. Curtis, got an app in. Run my man stuff.
Do I know?
How's business as far as new customers? Sorry. No, that's cool, man. Marvin, you good anytime, brother. So I'll tell you this. We have gone out and hired top salespeople away from our competition. The way I think that makes a lot of sense, right? So we're always trying to find the best people we possibly can. So we're all the time trying to set up new customers, right? I mean, we have a target list, I kid you not, Marvin, of probably 250 potential targets that we're actively trying to go after. Because at the end of the day, we want to give you more options, right? And as we grow our truck count, that's more customers we're going to get. Because here's the reality too, right? You can only get so many customers because what does me good to go get customers we can't service? That's crazy. So we're trying to add the driver so I can get more customers. Get more customers, we cut better deals. That's the way it works. So, you know, we're going out there and getting it. Jeff Tindall, family is number one. I hear you, but you know, if you got to take care of your job. I'm just telling you, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, your family won't love you anymore if you can't turn on the lights. I promise you. And I mean, so the thing about it is that you got to go out there and roll with it. I mean, you just do. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be able to provide. You know, as a father, that's the number one thing you have to do as a father, right? Is provide for your wife and kids. That's the idea. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to go out there and get it. Correct. You know what? That's right. Guys want to quit on the first issue they have. Well, you know, here's the reality of it too, right? Is I started doing this a little while back, but I started, you know, when I was talking to drivers, I try to pull guys off to the side and say, hey man, you know, tell me what's going on. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, like, I ain't got a paycheck in 5 or 6 weeks, blah, blah, blah. My car's gonna get repoed, like all kinds of crazy stuff. So when they get out there on the road, right, they literally feel the pressure on their chest to hit a home run. And the reality of it is it's not gonna happen. I mean, how many people, you know, get caught up to the big leagues and hit a home run first at bat? Rarely anybody, right? So it's the same thing in trucking. So what we try to tell guys is say, listen, I get it. You need money. You got a whole lot of stuff going on. I understand that. But when you start pressing, you're not going to get where you want to go. So listen, hey, get in here. We're going to run the crap out of you. Stay consistent every day, and you'll be fine. And, you know, and that's what you got to do, right? But, you know, when guys come in here and their back's up against the wall, I get it. You know, and then they'll switch jobs again, which puts them even further in the hole. The idea is that, listen, come in here, work hard, we'll make sure you get paid. Hell, we got a guarantee. Seriously, I mean, look, come in as a company driver, guarantee you make $1,300 a week. Guarantee it. If you don't make $1,300 and we have to actually pay you to get it to that point, shame on me. Seriously, I mean, you should make that $1,300. So I tell guys that all the time. Then they say, "Oh, well, you know, I can make more money doing something else." I said, "I hear you, but you know, hey, if you want to come work, get you some money going, right? Hey, get it going, get some cash flow in, and then switch to do lease purchase. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's kind of how we roll." Mm-hmm. There you go, Aaron. That's exactly right. Taking care of my job is how I take care of my family. That's number one, man. And actually, that's probably a much better way to say it. I'm gonna start using that. Appreciate that line. That's exactly what you need to do. How's home time like on average? You know, it really depends on where you live, right? So think about it this way. There's somebody earlier from South Florida. Home time, you ain't gonna get home every week in South Florida. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, we could get you down there, but you ain't gonna make the money. I'm not gonna make any money. I get up every morning to make money. So that's kind of how that goes. If you live in Nashville, Tennessee, you're kind of the center of our running lanes. Probably get home a lot more, right? If you live in Bangor, Maine, probably not as much. So here's another thing too, is home time is somewhat up to you, but I'll tell you, the guys who get out there and run, we're obviously going to make a little bit more money. So that's kind of Delaware. Obviously, Delaware is not a huge state, so we can get you home. We can get you, like I said, we can get you home fairly regularly. We pull a lot out of the port right there in Wilmington. So we've got business around there. Actually, it pays pretty good too. So if you want some of it, actually, you probably need to come on, sign on up. But we can get you home, right? But I'll tell you this: if you got the option, let's just say we're sitting in Cleveland, Ohio, right? And it's Friday, and I've got a load to Houston, Texas, and I got a load to Philly. Philly will probably get you home, and you need to say, well, shoot, hey, I tell you what, I don't need to go to the house this week. I want to go to Houston, Texas, right? I'm going to make more money. I get it. Hey, that's what we try to tell our drivers, to do that kind of stuff. And sometimes we don't know, right? I mean, sometimes you say, hey, I'm good to stay out this week, and we might end up sending you home because, hey, if we ain't got it, we ain't got it, right? So, it kind of works like that. So, we try to we try to honor home time request. Does it always work out? No. Sometimes it doesn't. I tell you, like Joey, who was commenting earlier, he wanted to get home this week in back into Tennessee, I think. I'm pretty sure that's where he lived. Anyway, he was sitting in Utah Monday morning, right? So, hey, we got him all the way to Utah, all the way back to Tennessee. It was in Colorado 2 days ago. So, it's we do our best to try to do it. I personally did that myself because I try to, when we make commitments, we try to keep them. Does it always work? No, but we're gonna do our level best to get you over there. That's cool to know. I'm moving to Nashville. Awesome. Nashville's a great town. Very expensive rent though. Can I get my TWIC card through the office? Sure. Why
set
not?
you up.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we can. So Leva, we could. I mean, we'll take you to the and get you set up. I think Curtis does that. I'm not sure who does that, but anyway, we can set you up. And actually, it might be better to. There's places all over the place. I mean, what actually makes sense is, let's say if you get unloaded, I'm just going to use Chicago for example. So you get unloaded Chicago at say 8 o'clock in the morning, and your load time's at 1700 at night. Let's set you up and go by a place during the day. You ain't doing nothing else, right? So let's try to do that. Memphis, my town. I like that. I really like Memphis too, by the way. It's if any of y'all ever get a chance to go to Memphis, go to downtown Memphis. It's definitely popping. They've got great food, great people, awesome culture. Everybody's nice. Memphis is a really, really good town. Cool. Moving to Nashville, man, you don't need to move to Nashville. You need to stay in Memphis. Like, your rent would be 3 times as much. Cool. Well, looks like that's all the questions we got. So, hey, appreciate y'all spending an hour and 13 minutes and 17 seconds with us. Anyway, but seriously, hey, look, guys, seriously, call our recruiters. When you come in here, I want you to own the truck. I want to help you provide for your family. I want to teach you how to be a good business person. And I need good people to do it with, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I need good people. So if you're a good person, you're willing to work and willing to listen and willing to be a part of the experience, give us a shout. Ready to go. Anything in Maine? No. Is it Maine in Canada though? I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
Do you have local positions? Not really. I mean, we
did.
I mean,
we don't now.
We really don't. I mean, it's tough. I mean, we don't haul milk, so appreciate it, Levi. If I were to lease purchase a truck, it would be possible.
If you pay for it.
I mean, let me tell you something. Look, James, not to blow a hole in what you got going on, but take it from experience. Putting guys in trucks, you don't want to do it. It's just so I had a guy one time used to work here. Now he pulls a different commodity. He's an older guy. He's a great guy. if he's watches this video, he knows exactly who he is. I respect him a lot, and he couldn't make it work. It was very, very tough for him to make it work, right? And he's probably one of the best drivers I've ever been around in my life. So if he couldn't make it work, I don't know if anybody really can, right? So the idea is just, run it yourself. I know that the thing to do it is hard. I mean, very, very few people can. I mean, you almost need to be able to manage that truck, because what ends up happening is you're driving your truck, and yet you're having to deal with all the problems of the other truck, and it's really, 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 really tough. Look, but once you pay for your truck, if it's something you want to look at, I'm all ears. I mean, I'll help anybody any way I can. I mean, that's the idea. If we all help each other, we get where we want to go. I hear you, James. I mean, it's at the end of the day, man, it's nothing ever good ever comes easy. So I see where you're going with it. Keep thinking of brainstorming stuff every day, kind of how things work, man. That's how they invented Facebook, right? Out of necessity. But anyways, look, I gotta go back to work. Got to finish up this week. Appreciate everybody going. Well, I got one more question. Rates, high miles and low rates and low miles and high. I guess I think I hear where you're going with that. So, I mean, conventional wisdom will tell you that, yeah, if you hit a bunch of minimums every day, like, say you got a $700 minimum, you go 100 miles. Yeah, man, my rate per mile is awesome. Should go anywhere. You can't make it that way, right? Because at the end of the day, you got two types of costs, right? So you got your variable expense, which is going to be fuel and maintenance. And then you got your fixed costs, which is going to be your truck payment, all that kind of stuff. You have to turn enough total revenue to be able to cover the fixed cost. So, what we try to do is we try to burn miles if we can. But if you're in certain situations to where, hey, we can pick up some $1,200 loads that go 250 miles, dude, we're gonna put that on it too, right? So most of our guys have a pretty good blend of different things. It just depends on where you're at, what customers going on, what time of year it is. It's kind of like in the wintertime, right? Not a lot of people are going to build houses in the winter. So, you're not going to have a lot of stuff shipping from, say, Louisiana to New Jersey, because people don't build houses in New Jersey, right? So, we try to, at the end of the day, we want to put as much revenue through that truck as we possibly can that makes sense. Could you put $5,000 worth of revenue, only run 1,500 miles and do really well? Yeah. Could you run 6,000 miles, do $6,000 worth of revenue and run 2,200 miles and do well? Yeah, you can. So, I mean, it just all depends on how it kind of lays down. Cool. Well, look, we got to roll. Thank you so much. Look us up. Seriously, be a part of it. I will tell you this: there's not going to be another trucking company on the face of the planet that's going to care as much about it as we do, as how I do. So give us a shout. Let's get it rolling. Everybody have a safe weekend out there. If you're banging out some miles over the weekend, be safe. Have a good time while you're doing it, and we appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
All right.